Hello and welcome to another D&D Stories. I'm your host, TheWriter, and this is the show where we sit here and I regale you about all the awesome things and remember the time when from tabletop games. So we return once more to the land of the Shadow of the Northern Plains campaign, where we are seeking out 4 magic dragons for their 4 magic crystals. But it's not the journey, or it's not the destination, it's the journey. So let's see what interesting things happen today. So if you recall, we recovered the second of 4 crystals, the Earth Crystal, from a large black dragon just by diplomacying it away from him, and didn't question this and decided to move on to our third goal. So we had the hint dropped on us that the third dragon was one of the water element. So even though we know blue dragons are usually associated with lightning, this one was associated with water. So he lived on the coast to one side of the swamp. So we actually were not that far away from our third goal. And we're like, yes, we don't have to run across the whole damn country again. So we, once more, keep running into bandits, and we keep going with our plan. I'm Parlesia, bah, I'm Parlesia, bah, I'm Parlesia, bah. Throwing people down and spreading the name of Parlesia the Terrible and the Bloody Five that running around killing bandits and making the world a slightly better place on the edge of their blades. And we go, okay, we just have to make it to the coast. And, the swamp covers most of the southern coast on this particular country. So we could go further into the swamp, or we could exit the swamp and have an easier time along the road and then go south again towards the coast. You're like, okay, which one do we want to do? And we take a vote, and we decide we need to leave the swamp just because it's nasty and gross, and we don't want to lose supplies or anything, or fall victim to a disease or anything like that. So we travel north, up out of the swamp, and then start westward, and then we're going to go southward back to the coast where there's proper beaches and things like that for the kingdom. And along the road, like I said, more bandits. But at the same time, while we were traveling, I remember I told you about the roll on the scale of 100 to see what would happen as we traveled from day to day. Our, let's see, I think it was the wizard or the vigilante one, rolled a perfect 100 in our travels. He's like, we rolled the 2d10 double zeros. And we're like, double zeros? What happens? What happens if you roll 100 while you're traveling? And the DM goes, a gypsy caravan. And we go, a gypsy caravan? And he goes, yes. As you're traveling along the road on foot, because you didn't buy horses for some reason. We just got out of a swamp. Shut up. You didn't buy horses. You run across a parked gypsy caravan on the side of the road. And we go, really? And he goes, yes. And as this is the age of adventurers, they have tailored themselves to be a good stopping spot for adventurers such as yourself. They've got masseuses, and they've got armor oilers, and they've got fortune tellers and games of chance, and it's almost like a small traveling carnival. There's a circle of caravan carts, and there's horses for riding, and there's food set up on a cauldron somewhere, and there you can see a small stage with a girl up dancing on it while a few people from traveling are sitting there watching her throwing coins on occasion. And there's a fortune teller with, in a tent somewhere who's waving her hands over her crystal ball and stuff like that. It's a carnival. And we go, wow, neat. That's really cool. We should stop and play all the mini games. And we're like, well, we've been traveling for a long time, traveling really hard. And while we are on a time constraint, what's one afternoon? We can definitely do this. We rolled 100. We'll stop for a few hours. So we go and we get our fortunes told, and we stop and watch the girls dance for a while, and we order an extra amount of food. And they're like, well, since there's the 6 of you traveling together, we do have care packages if you like. And we go, care packages? And the DM goes, yes, if you pay them 100 gold flat, because adventurers tend to be rich and they can ask for that much, If you pay them 100 gold flat, you get, X, Y, and Z. You get potions, you get a medical kit, new thieves' tools, you get a massage with the masseuse, you get to spend the night in one of their nicer carts that are made for several people. You get pretty much the whole rundown of services. And we go, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. I mean, because how often does this actually happen where you get a day to just kind of take the day off in a D&D campaign and indulge in yourself? So we pay them the 100 gold for the 6 of us. And we go, okay, so we are all going to get like massages and, we're going to eat our fill. It's lamb and celery and stuffing and things like that. We're going to eat like it's Thanksgiving. We're gonna all get our fortunes told, and I don't think the fortunes actually meant anything. The DM kind of pulled out a bunch of like fortune cookie phrases for us. None of them really pertained to anything, but it was fun because how often do you go to a fortune teller in a D&D game? I had to give him credit for this, despite the silly story we were running around in. A gypsy caravan with all this fun stuff to do was actually very interesting. So we stopped. We tried to get. I think our vigilante had a fear of horses, so we stuck him up on one of their horses and had him ride around for a minute. Get me off this thing! And our fighter kept getting flirted with. He's like, "Try fireman, less to take off." And we're like, I get that reference. And we. The lore master and Parlesia partake in sunstone therapy, which I don't know if that's actually what it's called in the real world, but basically they get a cauldron and they put water in it and they boil the water, and then they put like smooth river stones in it, and then you strip down naked and you get a massage, and then after the massage they take the hot stones and they put them at choice points on your back, like between your shoulder blades, down your spine, the base of your neck, all the places that hurt and twist and get, clenched up after you do a lot of work or anything like that. The sore spots for any like muscular activity. They put the hot stones there, and then they grind their knuckles on it, and they do a lot of different things with these stones, with both the pressure and the heat, and it really helps. And then you lay there, butt naked in the sun, and they take the stones off, and you take like a 2-hour nap, and it's really good for you. They they pass you an Advil or whatever to make sure your blood thins out, and then your muscles feel much better afterwards. So Loremaster and Parlesia got the extra massage, and again, just like it was at the fort, eat, drink, make merry, and it goes well on into dusk. And we're like, well, we can't really travel, because if you travel at night, then worse stuff happens, because, of course, it does. So why don't we offer and just, like, stay here with the gypsy caravan? They're all their carts are pulled into a circle. They've got their 100 gold from us. I'm sure they'll be nice and friendly. Plus, if we stay longer, we're bound to spend more money and stuff like that. It's not like they're going to tell us, no, get lost. And they go, well, yeah, they've got a fold-out caravan cart that can sleep 12, and there's only 6 of you, and there's 3 other guys from the roadside that were watching the dancing girls and also eating and stuff. So it's not much different than like a collapsible roadside inn, and you can sleep under the stars and have these nice heavy blankets and stuff like that. And I go, yes, this sounds great. We're all the stress is slowly leaking out, and we're gonna have +1s to our first D20 checks because we're relaxed and we've had our bodies kind of seen to physically and spiritually for the past 8 hours or whatever it happened to be. And even our fighter took off his red dragon armor and gave it to the armor oiler, so that for I think the next week or so, it would allow him a higher dexterity and allow him, I think, like an extra +1 to armor. Because if you maintain your armor and you really, really maintain your armor, it stays good for longer. And you can probably coax more mobility after it if you oil it, check it, make sure it's washed and cared for and stuff like that. So he was really adamant to take care of this red dragon armor because, red dragon armor. And he hands it off. He said, yeah, I'll bring it back to you in the morning. Don't worry about it. So we hand off a few of our like armor pieces to this guy, and Parlesia and the lore master hand off their robes, basically just like a dry cleaning service overnight. Then again, they're all too happy to take our money. So by the end of it all, I think they got like 300 gold out of us, but we were carrying half of a dragon's hoard with us. As long as they don't find out about that, you know, we can just keep spending money and they can keep doing services for us. In fact, I think our wizard wandered off with one of the gypsy girls. Is like, don't fuck with gypsies, man. You're gonna get cursed. Like, if her mom sees you like getting a blowjob from this girl, you're gonna have like lamias chasing you for the rest of your life, or for whatever 3 days thing Drag Me to Hell showed us. Is like, it's like messing with the mom from My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Don't do it. It's not gonna turn out well for you. But no, he offered her a stack of gold coins, and she's like, sure, and carried him off. So there were some under-the-table dealings that were going on, and I was like, why not? Man or woman, you should still get laid now and then for the stress relief. And I go, Lore Master, you want to come with me? And she goes, no. She's like, if I wanted to get laid, I've got all my own choices. And I wasn't like flirting with her, but you want to come with me and find a guy, basically, is what I said. And she said no, she'd find her own. So Parlesia wandered off. Oh, the cleric's horny. Ha! Parlesia wandered off to find some of her own stress relief. And the gypsy caravan guys were all too eager and, again, took a stack of coins and took her off to one side. So she had a guy under either arm, and I'm like, yes, threesome, though I am playing as a woman this time. Does that mean I'm gay? I don't think it means you're gay. No, dude, you're playing as a woman. It's not gay. So that conversation happened at the table. Our lore master's just like shaking her head like, God, really? Yeah. So while Parlesia is off getting Eiffel Towered by the two gypsy boys, our lore master notices that there's a storm on the horizon, that we can almost see the ocean. Like you can smell the salty sea air, and we're getting close to our destination. But also on the very tip of the horizon is a lighthouse. You can tell because it's a huge upright structure. It's got a light at the top and it's spinning, which is weird considering it's a medieval setting. But I guess if you had a guy with a crank, or a couple of guys or some donkeys walking in a circle with the cranks attached to their backs, I guess you could make a lighthouse turn. Because it used to be just like a fire, a light, But we are in a magic setting, so who knows. But she sees the lighthouse on the very horizon. She's like, we're almost there. We're almost there. This is great. And so some of our party members decide to get laid. Some of our party members decide to go asleep. So I think like the wizard, the fighter, and Parlesia all decided to go get some. And we did get lover's comfort. So if you've played Skyrim, whenever you sleep with your wife, you get like an extra percentage to learning stuff or health or whatever it happens to be for X amount of time. So we do that in D&D. Whenever you sleep with somebody, you get lover's comfort. So the first D20 roll that you make, whether it be for a skill or for combat, you get a +1 to it because, again, stress relief, seeing to the health and beauty of your body. No different than hygiene, Like if a character goes to one side to like make sure they shave, make sure they bathe, make sure their hair looks good and stuff like that. If I'm DMing, I usually give them like a +1 to diplomacy, or a +1 to intimidate or innuendo or whatever it happens to be. Innuendo's not a skill anymore, but you know what I mean. The people that put forth the effort to take good care of their characters should be rewarded for it. So, so let's see. After all is said and done, we camp out in like the collapsible roadside inn, and we all go to sleep, which was our first mistake, because whenever you are traveling anywhere in D&D, never let everyone go to sleep, ever. Always set up a watch. Always. So the DM got one over on us. He said, well, when you guys wake up, you notice that the cart that you're laying in, the fold-out roadside inn, is the only cart remaining. It seems that the gypsies stole away with all of your things, all the armor and things that you gave them, well into the night and are gone. And we go, son of a bitch. And we all get up, wake up. He made off with your red dragon armor. He made off with your +3, eyes of the eagle. He made off with your fucking, icy short sword of stabbing. Get up. They stole our shit. And, they sacrificed the cart for all of the extra magic items that we handed over to, like, be serviced, and made off with them. Like, the cart was maybe, 150 gold to buy. And, we gave them more than that for their services, and they made off with our stuff. And I'm like, son of a bitch. We rolled 100. It's supposed to be a good thing, or it's a thing you fell for. Shut up. We're going to have to chase them. How do we find out which direction they went in? Was like, well, we look at the road. Which way do the tracks go? And he goes, there's really no tracks. And I go, they can't have stealth gypsy carts. That's not a thing. He's like, it could be. It's not in the rules. Story trumps rules. Damn it. So we lose the red dragon armor. We lose some eyes of the eagle. We lose a whole bunch of magic items to these gypsies. They're like, okay, we've got to do like concentric circles or something. We've got to track them down because they're probably running as fast as they can to get away from us. And at the same time, they are in carts with horses, so they might have actually stayed on the road. It's like, okay, how do we do this? So what, half of us go one way, half of us go the other way? We can't split the party. And we're like, well, and our fighter's naked. Literally, like, he had no extra clothes or anything. It's like Parlesia didn't even have an extra set of, like, normal clothes or anything to give him. So our fighter's just, like, standing there in his underwear with, like, his regular short sword. He is pissed beyond belief that his precious red dragon armor was stolen by gypsies in the dead of night. And it's like, okay, we got to get our stuff back. Which way do we go? And we look at our lore master, and she goes, got it, right. I'm going to use clairvoyance. And she sets up the magic circle. We throw down the mirror. We've got the water. We sprinkle the diamond dust. We draw the symbols on the ground. Like, which fucking way did they go? And she goes, that way. Thankfully, they are also traveling south. So I was like, okay, hopefully they don't have a boat on the shore. Otherwise, it's going to suck to be us when we get there. So I was like, well, we're on foot. We better get going. So the 6 of us, the other 3 guys, I think we just left there in the cart. Like, I think they were still sleeping when we left. Like, they slept through all that, whoever they were. And we we take off south, missing half of our gear, some of us missing more than others. And we're like, okay, we've got to catch up as fast as we can and track these fuckers down. So, meanwhile, again, our lore master notices that the storm on the southern border is getting more and more violent. She can see lightning even out as far as we are. And I don't know what the curvature of the earth is as far as seeing the horizon. It's like X number of miles. It's like 3 miles or 5 miles, or maybe I'm talking out my ass. I don't know. Somebody in the comments will tell me, how far is the horizon point for the curvature of the earth? Put that in the comments below. But the ocean crawls into view, and we are able to see down into this valley. And sure enough, going down the one dirt road that leads all the way to the ocean, to the beach, we can see the gypsy caravan just traveling at a leisurely pace, like they thought they were just going to get away from us. Sure enough, not leaving tracks either. So they have stealth. They have a stealth caravan that doesn't leave horseshoe marks and doesn't leave like, what was it, carriage track marks or anything. Like, it doesn't leave like wheel tracks. It's like, we really should like see what's enchanted on those carts once we stop them, because if they leave no trace, that would be kind of useful. Just as like a vehicle that can't be traced by sight. Like if we didn't have a vigilante, like if we had a ranger and the ranger couldn't track them, that'd be an amazing cart. But that's beside the point. So we're like, okay, we've got to go down there and take back what's ours. They're just gypsies. We can just, choke a bitch and take our stuff back. And we start moving down, like, not along the road, but, like, to one side. We're going to, like, jump on them and literally just, like, punch them in the back of the head and take our stuff back. And we know there's maybe 20 of these people, but again, they're basically a traveling circus, so who the hell are they kidding? So you're like, well, maybe the fortune teller's a magic user, or maybe the girl that was dancing up on the stage has a few levels in Bard, for all we know. But, they're not going to whip out Vorpal swords and kick our asses, so we can catch these people. So we go around one side, we go through like the bushes and past the trees and stay in the tall grass. We're going to sneak up on them. And we get up really close just as the storm is arriving. Like, yes, thunder and lightning will be excellent cover for us. And we go, okay, so we're going to sneak up on them while they're making camp, while they're pulling all their carts into a circle because they're stopping before they reach like the sand. And we go, okay, we're going to wait until it looks like they're pretty much settled, and then just like run out screaming like crazy people and like knock people down and stuff like that. We're not going to try and kill them yet. But we wait for a while, and then something really scary happens. And the DM goes, as you're like crouching in the grass and behind trees, the thunder and lightning plays out in the sky above in a low rumble, and the rain starts to come down, just a light like drizzle, like it's not completely opened up yet. But as the lightning flashes across the sky, the gypsies don't look like gypsies anymore. For a split second, they look like Yuan-ti, and then they change back into gypsies. And we're like, oh my God. And then I go, we wait for another lightning strike. And sure enough, boom, flash of lightning. Or the other way around. Lightning, boom. And the flash of lightning reveals whatever these people truly are. And we go, they're Yuan-ti in disguise. They've got like some sort of spell over them, like masks of flawless disguise or change me cloaks or something, to where they look and feel and sound and smell like people. They're actually Yuan-ti. And we look at each other and we go, oh my God, we got robbed by Yuan-ti. And we go, wow, that's actually kind of clever, because that's how they've been getting across the countryside in such big numbers. They're pretending to be gypsy caravans. Like there's 20 Yuan-ti down there. We thought they were people, and our fighter leans up and goes, one of those Yuan-ti gave me a massage. And then the wizard's face kind of falls and goes, one of those Yuan-ti gave me a blowjob. And then slowly but surely, every face at the table turns over to look at me, to look at Parlesia. And I go, oh God. And I go, two of those Yuan-ti, and they go, don't say it. And I go, two of those Yuan-ti, no. And I go, we got to get our stuff back. And I was like, okay, so what are we going to do? I said, we follow the original plan. Everybody pull a weapon. And he goes, okay, you've got one round of surprise. Go for it. And we're like, ah! And we jump out of the grass and mow over these Yuan-ti. Just knock them on their asses. Like, okay, you've got a full round of initiative, or you've got a full round of surprise. Now roll initiative. And we get really good initiatives. And we fight. And we fight and we fight, and there's lightning bolts going back and forth. There's little old ladies that look like people that flash and turn into Yuan-ti when the thunder and lightning goes by. And then our wizard throws a lightning bolt at one of the strong men, and he turns into a Yuan-ti and then back into a strong man before he beats him over the head with a 2x4. And then the dancing girl was a half-blood Yuan-ti that tangles with our vigilante sword to sword. They start pulling like weapons from God knows where because their bodies are just illusions. So for all we know, they're armed to the teeth. And I think it was the fighter that took a straight-on, like, Wanty bite, like, straight to the neck and started bleeding really badly. So I had to wade through the battle. Come here, I'm going to keep you from bleeding to death. You know, touch heal to keep him from bleeding out. He's like, steal my dragon armor, will you? Ah, boom, boom, boom. Just beating on him with, like, a club, you know, because he gave him all his magic weapons to oil and sharpen. He didn't have any of his magic stuff. So we turn, and some of the other Wanty are actually wearing some of the things they stole from us. Like the red dragon armor was on one of the Wanty, so he was like weathering the wizard's fireballs as we were setting everything on fire and kicking shit over. And a couple of them had our magic weapons, and one of them could see through the dark of the storm because he was wearing Eyes of the Eagle. And we're like, it's all of our shit being turned against us. Let's freaking kill them. So we fight. And we fight and we fight and we push the carts over and we slap the horses on the back with our swords to make them run. And we emerge victorious and we get all of our stuff back. And we spend, you know, like, yeah, we got all our stuff back. Stupid fucking Wanty not gypsies. And we have like this really lame thing after, like, we're trying to make fun of them, but we fell for it, so we really can't say anything. It's like, stupid freaking not gypsy Wanty snake people masseuses. Take that. Even though several of us slept with them, several of us got massages from them, several of us ate at their tables, so we there's not a lot of eye contact at the table right now. And I start poking fun at our fighters. Like, you gave them every piece of armor you had and then went to sleep. And he's like, you took 2 Snake Man dicks. You don't have a dog in this fight. And I was like, oh, God. So everybody at the table, we are all ashamed of ourselves because we basically fell for it. Hook, line, and sinker. That, you know, if just one of us had stayed awake, you know, it's like, oh, I know we're staying at a collapsible inn with these gypsy people, but I'm just going to sit up and make sure nothing happens to our stuff. If one of us had thought of that, none of that would have happened. But no, we thought we were safe because we rolled 100 on the travel thing, and our DM got us. I give him that. He got us good. So we got all our stuff back. We, like I said, not a lot of eye contact while we're putting our equipment back on, especially the fighter who was down to his underwear. We put all our stuff back on. We get all our spell slots and extra head dresses and Eyes of the Eagle and the red dragon armor and the blah-de-blah short sword of ice of stabbing and all that good stuff. We get all of our things back. And again, we have a bunch of dead Wanty bodies because once they're dead, the illusion wears off. So I was like, okay, we're just going to pile all the carts together with all the bodies and burn the whole thing. Because, damn, I don't want there to be any evidence of anything that happened between us and them. And everybody else is like, yeah, you're right. So we push all the carts together. Whatever horses are still there, we keep those to sell later, and we just set fire to the whole thing. Like, wizard, fireball it. And they're like, boom. And you're like, okay, you stay and watch it burn for a while to make sure nobody was playing dead. And then it's like, okay, that's it. Well, that was embarrassing. But hey, that's, as a DM, you know, that's a trick you can only ever pull once. But he did pull it on us, so I do have to give him credit for that. And I go, well, at least we made it to the shore, to the southern edge, you know, where this water dragon supposedly lies. And our lore master looks and goes, well, the only structure here is the lighthouse, so I wonder if it's there. You know, there's not a lot of caves, not a lot of like glow in the dark coral showing us a path anywhere. So we take like a short rest to get all our stuff back and groom and get our spells prepared and pass out heals to the people that need heals and eat and stuff like that. And then we're like, okay, we're going to check out the lighthouse. And sure enough, as we're approaching the lighthouse, we see there's a big, like, stone step path that leads out into the water because the lighthouse itself can only be accessed at low tide. Otherwise, you're going to be swimming. So we wait until low tide, and I don't remember what time of day that is. Somebody will tell me. But we wait until low tide so we can go all the way out to the lighthouse, and it's a lot bigger than we gave it credit for. Like the inside shell was like 100 feet across. So from one wall to the far wall was 100 feet. And I was like, Jesus, this is a huge lighthouse. And the doors are huge too. It's like, well, I guess if a dragon lives here, you know, it's got to be big. So we go up and up and up through all these supply rooms, these sleeping quarters areas. Nobody's home until we get to the very top. And we, sure enough, find a blue, like snake-like, bearded, like an Eastern style water dragon with the big, long whiskers and the mane going all the way down his back. He's sea green and sea blue to match. And he turns and he sees us coming, and we're like, oh crap, boss battle, get ready. And he goes, you know, oh, it's another group of adventurers come to slay me. Oh, goody. And we go, and we kind of look at each other. He goes, well, we're kind of just here for the water crystal. And he goes, why? He goes, well, we want to take down the shadow of the northern plains so that the kingdom can, and we go, what is the reason the king gave us? So the kingdom can expand, and the dragons that are holding humanity back can no longer do so, that we'll be able to expand further out into the lands and prosper. And he goes, well, you know, the end of the world is coming soon, so here, why don't you have it anyway? I'm sure you'll have lots of time to expand within the next, you know, X number of months or whatever it happens to be. And we go, you know about the end of the world? And he goes, yeah. And he goes, well, the Yuan Ti are trying to bring about the end of the world. And he goes, oh, you know about those? And he goes, yes, that's one of the reasons we're collecting the crystals also, is because our DM hasn't really told us yet. Surely they contain some sort of hidden power that will help us stop the Ouroboros from eating the world and pooping out a different one for the Yuan Ti. And he goes, it is true, if all the crystals are gathered, that they contain an unstoppable magical force that will defeat any foe. And we go, see, if we gather all the crystals, they turn into like a laser or something. So it's not a laser. And I go, it's kind of a laser, if you think about it. It's going to shoot a beam of magic awesome at him, and he's going to blow up. Is that right? And he goes, yeah, kind of. It's a laser. Damn it. So now we know why. We know why we want the crystals is to gather them all and then shoot them at the Ouroboros when it shows up. And if and when we gather them all, we can take down the barrier of the shadow of the northern plains anyway, so they don't get used up. They're like a proto-matter of magic items. So we've got 2 or 3 things we can do with these once we gather them all. The only trick is we have to actually gather them all. So he goes, well, the Yuan Ti cannot be stopped. And the Ouroboros can be stopped because it's just a singular entity. But my brothers will surely not gather. You know, they are all selfish beasts, and they will not gather their crystals together for any singular cause. They argue over everything, and they can only agree to disagree. And I go, well, water dragon, we've got 2 crystals already, one from a fire dragon and one from an earth dragon. And he goes, well, we basically convince him over a number of hours that we're gathering the crystals to save the world and to expand the kingdom, even though the king probably won't be around once we're done with him. But we'll reveal the rest of the continent for the common people to go claim and stop the Yuan Ti if and when they summon Ouroboros, one of their snake gods. And we go, okay, will you give us your crystal? And we just kind of ask him nicely. And he goes, well, you're out to save the world. I am not so selfish. And he hands it over. And we're like, wow, that was easy. And he goes, do not think it too easy, for your battle is still yet to be won. If you fall in battle, if any one of the crystals falls into Yuan-Ti hands, the world is lost. They only function if they are all in the same place. So they only have to get one of them away from you, and we're all screwed, is basically what he's saying. So everybody carry one, or, find a place to bury them, or something like that, because all it takes is one to be missing, and then nothing is going to go right. So he gives us the magical crystal of water, and now we have 3 of them. And we're like, wow, I thought we were going to fight a water dragon up on a high tower. But hey, he's right. If the world ends, he'll end with it. So we have acquired the 3rd crystal out of 4. It's like, well, I can point you to the 4th dragon, so we know where to go next in the campaign. And from there, you will have to go to the Shadow of the Northern Plains. And we go, really? Why? He says, there is a 5th crystal that you must find. And we go, a 5th one? There's only 4 dragons. And they go, well, one of the crystals had to be used as a base for the grid line that became the actual barrier, the Shadow of the Northern Plains. It's like using a magnifying glass and a mirror. It's a refraction point for all the magic and all the nexus that happens to keep a barrier that large, that strong, for that long. So if these 4 crystals are the keys, then this final crystal is the lock. And you can only find the lock if you have the 4 keys. And we go, oh, okay, that makes sense. So we have to find earth, wind, fire, water, and then take them to find, the crystal of light or the crystal of dark or whatever the last stupid element is going to be. Fine. Makes sense. And then once all 5 crystals are together, they can be used to stop the Ouroboros, if and when it should rise. So, good luck, heroes. May fate be on your side. And we kind of reach out and we go, don't you want to come with us? I mean, clearly you want us to save the world. And he goes, I am a dragon. I cannot go from place to place without causing panic. But I tell you what, I will give you this small water dragon idol. And he hands us like this little necklace pendant, and he puts it on our lore master and says, you may summon me to battle once. For I am a dragon, and I can teleport places because I can. Now shut up. Like a Final Fantasy summon, basically. We can summon him to battle once to aid us in saving the world. So we're like, okay, we've got to save this for like the last boss battle or something because he's big. He's a big water dragon, and he would be able to help us out. So that is all the aid I can give you because, again, going from place to place causes a lot of panic, a lot of trouble. Dragon slayers tend to pop up and stuff like that, but if you activate that pendant with whatever password he gave us, then I will instantly teleport to you and aid you in whatever battle that happens to be. And we go, okay. So we give it to our lore master because she has the least combat effectiveness. She's our face character. So she's going to be in charge of the super water dragon summoning stuff. And we go, thank you, Water Dragon. We'll be on our way. Good luck, heroes. And we head out down the lighthouse and back up the shore. And we can still see the column of smoke from where we set fire to the gypsy caravan. And we're like, okay, well, we've got, fire, earth, and water. I guess that just leaves wind, and then we'll be on our way. And I go, yep, that's exactly right. And we set our sights on the next goal of the campaign. So, that's all we're going to talk about for today, and I hope you'll join me next time when we continue on with Shadow of the Northern Plains. So I'll see you guys on the next D&D Stories. Keep gaming. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like button for me. If you want to keep up with channel updates, check me out on Facebook. And if you're feeling especially generous, be sure to visit my Patreon. keep gaming.